It's Saturday morning and it's 9 o'clock. Oh yes! Can only mean one thing. It's time for the Monster Magic Saturday show. Let's do this.
Wake up, it's a beautiful morning. Feel the sun shining for your eyes.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Good morning. I hope you've got some lovely plans for your weekend. I am still buzzing from last weekend, which was, of course, the Blackpool Magic Convention, the world's largest magic convention. It's the first time I was there as a dealer myself, been there with Prop Dog, obviously, so I sort of knew the ropes, but boy, oh boy, was it so fun and rewarding. It was incredible, and it was so nice that so many people came up and said hello and introduced themselves, yeah, really sort of said that they appreciated all of the stuff that I do, which is just so great. It was a weird experience because it's the first time I've ever actually sort of performed tricks of my own creations with a view to selling them. Normally I'm just performing them, hoping people laugh and are entertained, and the idea that you're trying to convince someone or hoping that at the end of your performance they want to buy it is quite a weird experience. And it's very personal, releasing a magic trick of your own, because you obviously think it's great and you just hope other people do. So there were a lot of dealers there for the first time. Hopefully all of us had a lot of success, but I really do take a hats off to anybody who is there performing their own magic tricks and trying to sell them, because it is quite nerve-wracking, but very rewarding. So just well done everybody who was there. That's all I can say. I had a great time. The other thing about Blackpool is you suddenly realise how much variety there is in magic. Whether you want a high-end illusion trunk thing for your stage illusions in your cruise ships, or whether you just want a really simple self-working packet trick. It's got the entire range, very expensive electronics, or just some shoelaces if you came to my stand. It is crazy. There is literally something for everybody there. So without further ado, I'm going to show you one of my favorite tricks from Blackpool, and it is the Tiny Grand Illusion by Green Lemon. I say Green Lemon. Actually, I believe Sven Bosch, who runs Green Lemon, came up with this. Green Lemon is a wonderful little company. Hopefully it'll become a big company in the Netherlands. And Sven set it up. He makes the pads, the Sven Bosch pads, that you might well be aware of. Brilliant quality pads. You pay for it, but they are very good. And he set up Green Lemon, and the idea behind Green Lemon is he wants to promote new creators in magic, mostly based in the Netherlands. This trick is so charming, and I was fortunate enough for Sven himself to perform it on me at Blackpool.
So it's called the Tiny Grand Illusion. It's a small illusion that fits in your pocket. It's just 4 cards and that's it. So see what we're going to do. We got an assistant and we're going to mix her up, right?
Yep.
We're going to shuffle her up so she's all upside down. Do you know why I want to be an illusionist?
No, why do you want to be an illusionist?
You can lay back on the couch and the assistant does all the work. I don't have to do anything. Just 3 snaps, that's all it takes. And she automatically restores herself. I don't have to do anything. You know, we go one step further. I see you're a bit full right now.
Yeah. Well, no, wait.
You can shuffle her up.
I'll shuffle her up. Yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
She likes that. Okay, happy?
Yep.
You can twist them if you want. You know what, we do it like this. Would you like it like this or like this?
I like that.
Like this or like this?
Like that.
Would you like to turn them as well?
No.
Oh, no. I'll put them back. You're very strictly.
Yeah.
Okay, just 3 snaps is all it takes. So we got 1. That's the feet.
Yeah.
We got the head, and we know when the head and the feet is correct. This one should be correct as well.
Okay, I'm full.
Want to go 1 step further?
Yeah, go on.
Shuffle her up.
Yep.
Shuffle, and put it on yourself. Happy?
Yep.
So, not only did you shuffle herself,
Yep.
You mix it up. You could have placed this one here.
Yeah, I could
you
have
could have
done,
placed this one there. You could have
Yeah,
placed anything
yeah.
else. Just 3 snaps. And I didn't even touch them. There's no sleight of hand, nothing special. And she automatically restores herself. And this is the tiny grand illusion.
And what is in this little envelope are 3 really beautifully printed, well designed cards. The trick works on subtleties rather than any sleight of hand. The cards aren't gimmicked at all, so they can all be handled, which is nice because you can put it in the spectator's hands, they can shuffle them, they put them down where they want, and voila, you have a piece of magic of a mismade lady being put back together again in the right order. And also at the end, obviously, you end completely clean as well. So it is great. It is very, very easy to do. Like I say, there are no real moves, and the cards are beautiful. And what I really like about having Sven on the tutorial, he didn't want this black border around them. He wanted it to look like a real crate for the entire time. And but this is due to the printing process that you need the bleed. So sometimes he trims that black off, and he lets you, it's a tip if you want to do it. Personally, I wouldn't bother, but I know where he's coming from. When you want something to be perfect, to him it's probably more annoying, but no one else would ever notice. And it is such a charming trick. You get 3 phases out of it, and there are, I suppose you could say, discrepancies in it, but they just fly by, and it is really, really clever. It's based on an old principle, I think from an SEO trick many moons ago, and perhaps if you work in the printing trade you might have a clue as well. But it is incredibly nice and very, very charming. You can put a nice hook on it because it is an assistant, and I was just really, really surprised for it. I think you'll probably find from the performance of Sven doing it to me. First phase where you swap the head and the legs, it really did feel to me that those cards had changed places. And I could see when he put them in my hand that there was nothing about these cards. I was quite shocked by it. It really, really took me by surprise. I love the charm of it. It is just 4 cards. I would probably carry them in this envelope or something similar to keep them nice and straight. It is a beautiful, beautiful trick. And it's not like any other packet trick where you have things visually changing or going to your pocket or you're constantly counting them. It has a really different feel to it to most other packet tricks that you'll be carrying around. The cutting up your assistant is a lovely, lovely hook. You can put whatever presentation you want on it. You get them to name the assistant and so on, so you can have so much fun. It's a baffling packet trick. It's got a very, very clear plot. It's very easy to do. It is only $14.99. It is The Tiny Grand Illusion by Green Lemon. Next up, we've got King Kong by Spidey and Richard Sanders. This didn't come out of Blackpool, but I had it at Blackpool, and I've only got a couple left. And believe me, I took a lot because I knew this was going to fly. It is based very much on Richard Sanders' ACE in methodology, which is clearly based on Gary Freed's NFW, which is also still available. What Spidey has done, he has taken ACE, and if you're familiar with ACE by Richard Sanders, it is a very good, quick packet trick, a transformation of jokers into aces, but it didn't really have a hook. And what Spidey has done is put a great spin on it. You show that you treat at poker by drawing the kings, and you draw them a little bit like a child, as you would, and then you put them down on the table, and then they all change into genuine cards, genuine king cards. It is a really, really nice effect, and it's probably what Ace really needed, was a reason as to why you're doing it. And poker is obviously, and gambling obviously gets people leaning in, gets them really intrigued. Let me show you. I can't show you too much about what you get, but let me just say, include the kings for you. You can get these out from any other rider deck if you fancy you know, if these wear out, then that's absolutely fine. You could just use any deck. They are normal kings. And you get cards that are drawn like this. These are printed. I like the childishness of it. It makes the trick really quite quirky. And there are no real sleights involved in the main simple handling at all. Perhaps I would say a multiple lift here and there, but it's very well taught. It's very easy to do. If you're a beginner, this is an ideal little packet trick that will really blow people's minds. I love the transformation from these into real kings. It does give it a logic. Richard does run through various other routines that is possible with it. So you could end with all aces. They all transpose into aces and various other transpositions. For me, they might give you more moments of magic, but slightly more confusing, and I would really just keep to the nice, simple, easy plot. He does teach a way of ending clean without having to do anything difficult. Basically a justification for popping into your pocket, which is really, really nice if you're doing it for friends and family who are particularly grabby. But he also talks about the psychology of it, and because 3 of the cards are completely normal and gimmicked, and in the course of the routine they've been in people's hands, the actual examination of them isn't something that is necessarily going to crop up, because it feels that they've handled them anyway and they've seen both sides of the cards quite a lot. And Richard also shows a nice way of visually changing the cartoony jokers into the kings in a very visual way based on the radical change. Use that one on social media. I love the presentation of it. It's got that nice silliness that you're trying to ask people to buy in to this complete quirky nonsense, which is something that I really, really like doing, just watching them nod along, sort of slightly confused, but being willing to go with you. That is King Kong 1699 by Spidey and Richard Sanders. Next up, it's Industrial Revelation by Jamie D. Grant. Oh, this came out probably, 2010, I believe, and was an absolute storm of a trick. It's been out of production for many, many years. Vanishing Ink have brought it back. Basically, you show a card box and you can pretty much stick anything through it, whether it's a banknote or a knife or dropping a coin through it. You then open up the card case and drop into your participants' hands a solid steel block that weighs an impressive amount. Here it is here. This is one I was just playing with. This is the demo from Blackpool. So it's had a fair bit of use in its time. That's the thing going through. And if you tip it out, that is the solid block. Let me just show you this block, because this is the thing that people are really, really concerned about. That is it. It is beautiful. Even if you know the method, I don't think you can see a thing. And this, like I'm saying, this has been used. The setup I did for it, I didn't take very much care over cutting this. I just got to Blackpool, someone wanted to demo it, and I prepared this in seconds. It weighs a massive amount. This is a solid chunk of steel. But that examinability, which is what people are really interested in, having performed it so many times last weekend, and people want to hand it back to you. I think they think it's precious, or perhaps there's the inconvenience of holding it. So they're more likely to pass it around and then hand it back to you than they are to really spend any time sort of playing with it. And only by really playing with it and struggling and having the right technique are they ever going to find the secret. So don't worry about it. The effect is very, very straightforward. It's a slightly backwards effect in the fact that what you're doing something that's clearly possible, because people will just assume the card box is empty, or there's the cards are cut in half. So the real trick is to come up with a presentation for what you're doing when you're passing the money or the knife or the coins through the card box in the first place, to keep their intrigue before you knock them for 6 with this. So most of the tutorial is about the care, the maintenance, the setup, and it is, of course, very, very easy to do. There's a couple of nice little tips on the handling on the tutorial as well, which is really, really good. And presentation wise, it comes with a PDF. Oh, the care and handling comes in a PDF as well if you want to print that off. But presentation wise, it comes with a PDF with Andy Nyman and Paul Green and a couple of other people giving their little hooks on it. And the David Regal one I particularly like. I'm a big David Regal fan, but it's a nice little plot, and you justify dropping a coin through the deck several times. So that's really nice. It is incredibly well made, and if you keep it in this case here, you will last you a very, very long time. If you are going to be performing this a lot, table hopping, I would strongly suggest some sort of belt holder for this. I'll pop up a link to Tony, who will probably make you one bespoke at some expense, but there are plenty, or there used to be plenty, of little camera bags, which is what I used to do before you could get leather deck holders. But it is a wonderful, wonderful trick that no one sees coming. When this block lands in their hands, it is an incredible surprise. You can see the shock in their eyes, and they sort of go with two hands to make sure that they don't drop it. It's not cheap, but it is bulletproof, and it is an effect that your audience will remember. It's Industrial Revelation by Jamie G. Grant. Before I go any further, I've had some inquiries, and yes, Mind Blocks by Craig Petty. This is going to come to Monster Magic very soon. I'm not sure when it's officially released. This is mine to have a look at. The tutorial's 2 hours, 20 minutes long. You get 10 routines, card tricks, mentalism tricks. It's a very, very versatile deck of cards based or made to look like the sort of cards you would find in a Lego store. Really clever. Obviously it's Craig. It's very versatile. I'm not sure how much it's going to be, but people have been asking for it, and so just be patient just a little bit longer. And now it's time for DragonScale by Penguin Magic. This, good Lord, what doesn't this do? It was big at Blackpool with Eric Tate performing it. On my Blackpool walk around, Eric showed me some of the stuff it could do.
Cut a packet and hold it against your chest. The robed part of your chest.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So you're looking at the Queen of Hearts.
Yes.
Okay, so if you count the cards to yourself, so you know how many there are, but stop at 11 because that's how many are in your hand.
Yes.
And there's 6 red and 5 black. That's going to take a while to figure out, so just focus on the court cards because there's only one. And if you add up all the pips, it's going to be 55. But we don't have time for that. See this right here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the card's not marked, right?
No.
But you're looking at the 2 of diamonds?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's the DragonScale. The entire team at Penguin Magic has been messing with this. So I think we can talk a little bit about method, right? Yeah. So the deck is in mnemonic. The card box is a high precision scale that's accurate to within 1 playing card. And it is talking to my cell phone. So when you cut the deck, the scale measures the difference and it spits out all of this information, right? Now, it's not just, so this is all the packet information on that. But it can't do just one packet. It can do multiple packets. So now this is the second cut that comes up. And it's not just this information, it's all of this information.
Yes, it's a tiny scale disguised as a pack of cards. And that sounds very, very simple. And I don't know where or who was the first person to do it. I know it's been done before by someone I know quite well, but not like this. And what is clever about this isn't necessarily the scale, which is obviously super sensitive. I don't know how hard that is to achieve, but it's the app that obviously the people at Penguin have really been thinking about what you'd want to know and what the most useful information is and how best to present that information, whether you're using your phone, whether you're using an earpiece, or whether you're using your smartwatch. It can work with all of those, and it tells you the information in a very clear, concise way, visual way, so that you've got everything that you need to know. You can also decide what you want to know. So if you don't want to be confused with a mass of information, then you can just choose the card that they've selected, or you can go through all of the options. And as Eric explains, you know all of the cards, you know how many court cards, red cards, black cards, how many pips, the best poker hand. It tells you a mass of stuff. And also you can have multiple packets chosen, so someone can choose a packet, another person can choose a packet. It doesn't have to be the face card of the packet. They can take the card from the top of the deck if that's the way you want to do it. It is super, super clever. They have thought about so much for the card worker. Let me actually show you up close what you get. So, oh, I can't show you the inside of the box, can I, for the link? But so they give you a deck of cards, which is very nice. Not necessary. I'm assuming most of us have got a deck of cards. It doesn't matter what deck of cards you use. It's absolutely fine. It's very, very easy to set the scale up with any stack. I must sort of point this out because I did play with it quite a lot because I wanted sort of a unique stack and also a stack of objects and various things. So it's very easy, much like a scale. You just sort of tar it, tell them how many cards you've got, and boom, it will know. Tell them the order of the cards. I'm setting up the stack. Let me just run through some of this. There's so much about this. I'm a bit giddy, but simply it shows you all of the cards that are possible, and you just tap them and it puts them in the stack in that order. You can have more than one card in the stack. If you've got sort of a half the one-way deck, it'll do that for you as well. It is really, really easy to use, and I'm not a big fan of using my phone for anything other than phone calls. So this is a big thing for me. And then you get the scale. So the scale comes with this, which is a sort of, I think it's injection molded rather than 3D printed, actually, fake card box. Doesn't have to be a fake card box. You can use any card box you want. It just needs a little bit of modification. So obviously it can match whatever deck of cards. And this is the scale. You can put a sticker over here if you want to flash the bottom of your card box. This is obviously designed just in case you want to flash the bottom of it. I don't see that there's a reason why you would want to do that. And also it's molded so that it's got sort of card edges on it. Again, not necessary, but quite nice. And this is what you get. And it is a super, super sensitive scale. It is really, really well built, and it's very easy to turn on. It paired incredibly. It just found it. And I've had smart speakers that I have literally thrown in the river because I can't get them to work properly or stay. This thing just picks it up. Every time I turn it on, it is straight on my phone, USB-C. So as an Android phone user, I'm very, very pleased about that. The tutorial is just over 2 hours long, and it is by Nick Lecapo, and he holds your hand throughout everything. So if you are worried about any app-based electronic magic, don't worry. And this is a very solid built piece of kit. Nick teaches you not only how to use the DragonScale, which I'm saying is surprisingly simple, but also some false shuffles, a false cut, and then he goes into routines. Now, some of the routines use stacks, some of them don't. So you've got a nice sort of broad area to work with. And really, a lot of self-working tricks where you need a key card or anything like that, the DragonScale will lend itself perfectly. And for me, it almost makes no sense not to use it all of the time, just as a fail-safe, so that you will know what their selection is. So should you lose that break, which can sometimes happen, you will still be able to tell them what their card is. One concern that isn't really covered is the fact of how to introduce this onto the table and so on. I've literally just brought out the deck of cards and the box and put them on the table, and no one's really questioned it. It's just turns into a complete non-issue. And especially if you're in a pub, the table's wet and everything else like that, having the cards on a little stage, which is in fact just your card box, makes a lot of sense. And people have always put the cards back on the card box, so that hasn't been a problem either. I don't actually do a lot of stack work, but I do occasionally you need to switch decks, mainly for a gimmicked one, and I always use Sideswiped by Simon Aronson. It's a great way of ringing in a deck, but if you don't want to do that, just go into your pockets as if you've finished and then bring it all back out. I think it's pretty obvious that from a card worker's point of view, this is a phenomenal tool for stage or close up. It doesn't have to be a normal deck of cards. If you just had some blank face cards, you could create your own stack and you could just write lots of animals on them or lots of feelings. You could use it with Evoke, you could use it with Mind Blocks. All of those things are possible. So, and also you can even do it with billets. But me being me, I wanted to get away from cards, and so I originally just, you know, came up with the idea of a little free will version with just some coins and some money. Banknote weighs different to a 10p, which weighs different to a pound coin. So, you know, you can know which one they've chosen or which pocket they've put them in. And setting this up for different objects is so easy. Basically, you just type in the name of the object, it weighs it, and that is it. It's in its memory, and then you can put it in a stack. So any object is what you are thinking about, but sometimes you might want to do it with objects that are exactly the same. And so I came up with this idea with greeting cards. And now these greeting cards, and they're not greeting cards, they're thank you cards. And what I realized is, so all the cards are the same, and I could write a thank you in here, which would be, you know, thanks for coming to my birthday, or thanks for lending me £10, or whatever it might be in here. Thanks for the lovely meal. They all look exactly the same. It's completely impossible that you would know what is written on this card, because not only that, it's in an envelope and your back's turned, because you can put it on here. And the trick to that is to make each one weigh slightly differently. So you can either, as I've done, is just put a bit of a playing card and just gimmick the envelope so it's behind a false wall. No one's interested in the envelope, they're taking the card out. So that way they'll all weigh something differently. Or just pop, you know, two £10 notes in to say, you know, thanks for lending me £20 yesterday, here's your money back, or a voucher, or anything like that. So you can make, using this idea, I'm sure Penguin probably thought of it as well, you can have a stack of greeting cards, and then you've got some really fun reveals possible of, oh yes, that was to my auntie Irene, you know, she bought me a beautiful meal, or she sent us a lovely birthday present, and so on. So you get a lot of great mentalism routines out of it. One thing was, it doesn't have to be in a card box, it doesn't have to be that size box. So I also, let me get a table 1 second. So this is something else that's possible with it. I'm not selling you any of these ideas, by the way. It's up to you. I'm just trying to show how versatile this little thing is. What I did was got a box. I took away the first layer. I put this underneath. Like that. As long as that's not touching the sides, got to be a bit careful. I was going to try and show you this, but unfortunately I'm filming with my phone, so I can't. Hopefully I'll try and get some footage of it. I took some of the chocolates out because they weighed too similar. So you can adjust the sensitivity of the scale. I could play with that some more, but I quite like the idea that some of the chocolates had been eaten anyway. So you just put this down, just have this down on the table. They get to choose a chocolate up here, and they take it out. They close the box. I asked them not to eat it just yet, but it's in their mouth, and then I can turn around and watch how they eat it and divine whether or not it's the orange cream or the praline swirl or whatever it might be. And that was how quick it was. Honestly, I set up in about 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be anything that's in a box. Certainly you're walking around supermarkets, toy shops, all sorts of things, just looking for something that will fit in the bottom of. Obviously, if you put it in the bottom of anything, and all the objects are the same, so obviously a box of Maltesers was a first starting point, or anything like that, they can grab a handful and you can tell them exactly how many they have. It's a great, really versatile thing. Think of colour match. You could just have the pens. You can make each pen very easily weigh a slightly different amount, and you've got your colour match routine, and that way you don't have to worry about replacing the batteries in the pens or the crayons or whatever it might be, and you can pretty much set a stack up or different objects up on the fly. It is very, very quick. It comes with a 2-year warranty. For close-up with cards, it is great. For mentalism on stage, I think you could probably use it in so many different ways. Now I'm going to have to apologize because having raved about it, I am now going to have to reveal it is a whopping £316.99. But blimey, it's good. That is DragonScale by Penguin Magic. And finally, we have Altair by Handy Altan. Blimey! Gosh, I really wish I'd reviewed this before Blackpool. I didn't take it to Blackpool with me. What a facepalm. If you want to be brilliant with coins without learning a false transfer or a retention vanish or anything like that, this will do it. It's so clever and so nicely put together and so well built. It is amazing. I was shocked. I only got 3 or 4 in, and I was worried, having watched the tutorial, that it wasn't going to be as clean. It was going to be a bit fiddly. It wasn't going to be very well made. All of those nervous things that you get. And actually, the quality of this is what really, really impressed me. It is really well made. You get a gimmicked card, which will pass close inspection. There it is. And you will want to get not a matching card, but I would use the Jack of Diamonds with this. So a matching court card, bicycle rider back, red, Jack of Diamonds. And then that is the only thing you need to add to this set. So that's the card that is gimmicked. And in fact, 2 of the coins aren't gimmicked. So you get some matching coins and you get some gimmicked coins. So I'll show you the inside. Show you the inside, because the inside, this are the coins in there. This is nice to keep them nice and safe. And that's where the card is. And these are your gimmicked coins. And the card and the coin gimmicks do everything for you, and it does look as good as it does on the video. And basically with this, you get 6 routines, most of which are classics of Magic. You get a matrix routine where all of the coins coalesce in one corner and then go back to their individual corners. You get transpositions, which you can do on people's hands as well. You get a coin from under glass, out of the glass, back under the glass. Very sort of coin unique, but with a justification, because the coin reappears somewhere and then goes back under. Super, super clever. And you also get a coin through card into glass as well. It's a very, 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 very clever, well-made coin set that will let you do all of this stuff really visually, really easily, and so cleanly. So I'm sure I've said before, one of the issues and why people struggle with coin magic is because there's a logic that if it's gone from this hand, it must be in this hand. But with these gimmicks, you look super clean. When you've done a vanish from this hand with this card, and you show it's not in this card, you can also show that it's not over here. It's great. It is literally, it defies logic. People can't backtrack or trace it. It is very, very smart. And the routines are really well taught. The tutorial is basically the hands and the cards. They use a transparent card instead of the actual gimmick card, so you can see exactly what's going on. And it's in English, but there is a little bit of grating low-level music, which I just wish they'd left off. It just got a little bit too much after a while. For the matrix effect, I think you're probably going to want a mat just to stop stuff sliding around too much. But other than that, you can do this on any surface. A tablecloth would be fine. It doesn't need to be spongy or anything like that. Just needs to have a little bit of a grip. You get some spares as well, so should it wear out over time, you are good. I mean, it is it's a coin set that I'm trying to think of another coin set that requires so little skill. I guess hopping halves doesn't require very much, but this is just so much more versatile than that. I love the transpositions. I love the very visual coin through card into glass, and it is easily it's a very, very impressive matrix that is slightless. I'm staggered by how easy some of the magic on here is. The quality is exceptional. I think that this coin set is the most versatile I've seen in a very long time, the easiest to use in a very long time. And because you've got 6 routines and they're all different, the variety is so impressive. In fact, you know, if you were going to buy one set of coin gimmicks, this would be it. The one problem is it's £128.99. But for that, I don't think you would need to have another coin set. The only real issue, I guess, is you're probably going to want to swap out the gimmicks or have them inspected at the start. So I would use something like David Regal's Pups. It only comes in $half. So that's a good reason to have them handed out and inspected at the start, because I don't think even America $half are used. So you've got some justification. You take them back, you switch them out, and you bring in this lot, and you are gonna blow their socks off so easily. You'll be feeling guilty. That is probably the trickiest bit, is getting over the guilt of how clean and easy this thing is. That is Altair by Handy Altan, $128.99.
Hey, you old fool! You slept through the show! Who's a fool? You watched it!
Woo! And that is the end of the show. I'm so pleased. I've come back, and I don't know whether it's just that I'm in a really good mood or everything that I've had on the show has been so great. I feel like I've just had been raving. I'm so excited about Magic again at the moment, which Blackpool can do to you. And I think everything on this show has been great, which is really good, because last year was a bumper year for quality Magic. And if it carries on, this year carries on anything like it is so far, it is going to be great. But thank you very much for watching. Please do subscribe. If you haven't watched the Blackpool special, I must apologise it didn't go out on Saturday. There was a technical hitch, all my fault, typically. So it was all planned and it didn't quite work out. So Wednesday was the soonest I could get it back together again. But please do subscribe if you like the show. Other than that, grab some of your new Magic and go out and just have a lot of fun with the best hobby in the world. Bye-bye.